All right. So for those of you in the audience that don't know, Arif, he's a friend of mine from Manipal. We were in the same college for our bachelor's, and now he's studying a master's in management Grande École, basically the same program that I'm studying, but at ESSEC. And in this video, we're going to be talking with Arif about how ESSEC is structured, how the program is structured, how it's like to study there, and how it's even different from HEC, because believe it or not, it's quite different even though the program is the same. Before we get started, I want to mention that we also shot another video on Arif's channel where he talks with me about how I've grown from when I came to France almost 3 years back to now. So I would highly recommend you to go check it out and also check out his other videos. I think they might help you out a lot. So let's get straight into it. And Arif, to begin this, maybe you could tell us a bit more about yourself and how long you've been at ESSEC, and just like give us a brief intro.
So first of all, whoever is meeting me for the first time, hi, my name is Arif, and I graduated from Manipal just like Mayank, and this was back in 2018. So at that point, I went on and I joined Deloitte in a consultancy role for 2 years, and then just last year, I'd say, at the end of 2019, I decided that I want to pursue a master's degree, and that is where my search began. And yeah, I joined the ESSEC campus in August of 2020, and it's been a great 6-month journey so far, and I'm looking forward to completing my degree here. And yeah.
So how's the ESSEC program structure? So you joined in August 2020. So the fall semester as usual. Now, are you going to be finishing your first year soon and then starting an internship, or like how does it look like?
So basically, I think the first thing that you should know about the ESSEC curriculum is that there are 3 requirements when you have to graduate. So the first thing is that you have to complete a certain number of courses, and the second thing is you should have 12 months of work experience, and the third thing is you should have 6 months of international experience. So that are basically the 3 requirements. And the main difference, I guess you can say, with the HEC's curriculum is that we don't have something of a gap year concept. It's like for you, if you want to do an internship, you wait for that gap year, you do an internship, maybe a 6-month internship into 2, so that covers the whole year. For us, it's something like, if I want to do an internship, I can directly start from my 2nd trimester. So there's just one small requirement. I have to complete 3 management courses before I can start. And if you've completed something that is called a refreshers beforehand, so you can take up courses or the management courses in your first trimester, and then from, let's say I joined in August, right? So if I take 3 management courses from September to December, that first trimester is over, and then from January onwards, I can start an internship. I don't have that restriction that I have to wait the entire year. So that's the best part, the most beautiful part in my opinion about the ESSEC curriculum. It's like you can experiment with different industries. I have seniors who have done internships in marketing, done internships in finance, just to explore different industries. So yeah, that's something that is unique. And apart from that, I guess the second thing is the apprenticeship and all the other chairs and tracks that are there. Like, you don't have to specifically choose a specialization in your 2nd year. You can very well take courses from all different fields and just graduate. So yeah, and we'll definitely dive into all of these soon. So,
yeah, I wanna get a little bit further into the apprenticeship and internship. Actually, more the apprenticeship situation soon. But before that, like, can you tell us about like the specialization situation? Like, so at HEC, for those of you in my audience, you guys probably already know this, but if you don't, the way HEC is structured, it's like you have the first year, the M1 year, where you're doing general management courses. Then you have the gap year in the middle, where you do 2 internships. And then in the second year, in the third year of the program is actually the 2nd academic year, where you choose a specialization and then you do that. So that's like your major. So at ESSEC, how does that work? Like, do you still choose a specialization after your internship is over? Or, because like you said, you can do your internship at any time, so there's no like structure, right? So how does the whole specialization thing work?
So the thing is, there's nothing as a particular specialization that you have to go through. It's just that we have something called as chairs and tracks. So let's say I'll take an example that we have a chair as the LVMH chair, the leading a beauty brand chair, and leadership and diversity chair. So how these chairs work is that they're sponsored by a company, and they'll be managed by a professor here at ESSEC, and you will, if you apply to that chair, you basically go through the whole application process, and when you're accepted, you have a curriculum that is integrated into your MIM journey. So you will have some mandatory courses that you will have to follow, some optional courses, electives that you can or you cannot take depending on your journey. And then again, you maybe even have an internship that you have to follow. So when you basically complete all these requirements, you get a certificate from that chair or the track. And the difference between a chair and the track is that the chair is sponsored by the company. When I said the leadership and diversity chair, so it's sponsored by L'Oreal. And when I talk about the specialization, it is something that is entirely given at ESSEC. So for example, we have the finance tracks, specialization tracks of finance in Singapore as well as in France. So we will have courses related to finance, maybe a consulting track, all of these. So it's not mandatory that you have to choose a track or a chair. You can directly just take courses, but yeah, it's a good way to deep dive into a particular industry.
Right, that's actually really interesting because at HEC, like I said, we just have a specialization that you choose and you're just doing courses from that. So, but at ESSEC, you can actually be a lot more flexible. So I'm guessing you can choose a track as well as a chair. That's a possibility?
That is a possibility. It's like you can take up a chair in your first year and your courses will start from your second trimester, and then maybe in your second year you take up a track. Maybe even take up a track in the Singapore campus if you're starting in the France campus in your first year. So it's really flexible, and you can experiment as much as you can.
Sweet. Okay, yeah, that sounds really cool. So basically it's like the ESSEC program, I guess the way it differs from the HEC one is just that you have so much more flexibility.
Definitely.
You can mold it into whatever you want it to be,
Exactly. Like I know seniors who have done that. It's not something that is just there on the website and something to attract students with, but it's actually happening. I have seniors who've been completely taking up courses for one trimester in marketing and then taking up an internship in a marketing role, but then they don't like it, so they switch up, and in the next trimester they take up finance courses and they then do an internship in a finance role.
But doesn't that put a lot of pressure on the students though, in the sense that so you can either customize it and make it really, really good, or if you don't do that job of customizing it well, it turns out to be something that's a bit subpar?
I guess this question is totally subjective. For me, I guess for me, this is a very good way to explore. Like if you're not sure about your journey and you want something where you can just experiment, I guess that's fine. But yeah, I can definitely get this point. You have to be careful about your the courses that you take, the plan that you have basically laid out for yourself, and you're trying to walk on. So that's definitely something that you have to take care of. But yeah, it could be overwhelming. Yes, we have a bidding system of courses, so yeah, that becomes a bit overwhelming at times, but yeah, it's something that you have to deal with when you're getting this much customization.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But okay, so speaking of customization and the campus, from what I understand, ESSEC has multiple campuses around the world. It's not just the one in France, right? So can you tell us a bit more about that?
So yeah, we do have 3 campuses. One is in France, the other was in Singapore, and the third one is in Morocco. So when you actually apply to the Grande École MIM program, you have the option to choose from Singapore and France. Like you can start in either of these 2 places. And for France, the thing is you can actually complete your entire degree in France, but it's not the case with Singapore. So if you're starting in Singapore, you have to come to France to do some part of your degree. They are trying to integrate more courses into the Singapore campus and make it a whole thing on its own, so that if you want to start in Singapore and complete there, you can. But yeah, so that's something. Even starting in different campuses have different things. Like if you're starting in Singapore, we do have a kind of specialization in the first year. So after the first trimester, you have some things that you can choose. Maybe there's something that from the top of my head I can remember, Asian consulting project, so junior consulting project. So you can take up specialization according to that, and then maybe in your second year you can come to France and you can do something different as well. Like I know friends who have applied right now to go to Singapore for their summer school. So they're spending their entire first year in France, and then after the third trimester ends in June, they have applied for summer school. We have beautiful tracks such as global manager in Asia. We have different fintech tracks in summer that just happens for those 3-4 months before your second year starts. So you can spend those 3-4 months in a different country, Asian country. You can experience that Singapore life and everything. So yeah, we do have different campuses and people go back and forth.
Right. That sounds super awesome, man. I think it's it really ties into the whole thing about flexibility. Like I feel like the ESSEC program is really flexible and among different dimensions, so that's super, super cool. Can you tell us a bit more about, the whole thing with internships, and actually not internships, apprenticeships? How does that whole situation work at ESSEC? Because I think that's definitely something we don't have at HEC at all, So I'd really love to know more about that.
So apprenticeship is a work-study contract between three parties. So the three parties are basically you, the school and the company, where all three of you sign a contract where you work and study at the same time. It can either go in a weekly plan where you are just working for the company, let's say on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesdays, and then you're studying at ESSEC Thursdays and Fridays. So you can do that in a weekly system. You can do that in a bi-quarterly system or a half-yearly system. So that's how it works. And then I think the best benefit of this apprenticeship track is that your entire tuition fees is paid for by the company. So the entire amount for 2
Wow.
years, your entire tuition fees is paid for by the company, and on top of that, you even get a stipend every month that you work. So that's there. And I think the second thing that you have to consider is a lot of people do tend to go for apprenticeships because of this tuition fee benefit, but then it's a 2-year contract, right? So you are working for that company for 2 years. So you have to be careful about the role that you go for, because if you get stuck in a role where you're not liking the work, you're not liking the job, the company culture, then you can't do anything about it because you've signed a contract. So that's something, it's a everything has a pro and con, right? So, but yeah, if you're able to find a good role, if you're able to find a good role in a good company, then apprenticeship is something that definitely benefits you. But everybody has their own career aspiration. There are a lot of seniors that I've talked to who don't go for this apprenticeship. They look for internships and then they look for full-time opportunities. Because this apprenticeship, since it's a 2-year contract, your MIM extends by 1 year. Like your MIM becomes a 3-year thing.
Right. And plus it's like a huge commitment as well.
Definitely, it's a huge commitment. If you're looking for, if you want to go for exchanges, then it kind of becomes a hurdle, because if you are getting an apprenticeship contract where you're doing the weekly thing, where you're working 3 days and then studying at ESSEC for 2 days, you can't go for an exchange.
Yeah, of course.
If you're able to find something where you're studying for 6 months at ESSEC and you're studying and you're working for the company for 6 months, then during that period where you're supposed to study at ESSEC, you can go for exchanges, definitely. But if it is that weekly thing, then you can't go for exchanges. So you have to think about everything when you basically look for apprenticeships.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so switching topics a little bit from this. So you've been at the Paris campus, or rather the Sergi campus of ESSEC for the last 6 months. Can you give us a bit of an idea of what the campus looks like? Where is it located? How far away is it from the city? And just a bit of your experiences living on campus.
Definitely. I think one of the best things not one of the best things, but yeah, the Sergi campus is near to the city center, not that far away, because it's just a 40-minute ride from the city center. You don't even have to change trains. It's just one single train that you take from the city center, RERA, and it's just a 40 minutes ride. Yeah.
That's crazy, because at HEC that's a dream, to have a 140-minute train going into the city. That's an absolute dream. But yeah, that's super cool. That's so close by.
Yeah, so if you let's say you're taking a train from the CDG, so you just take RERA and you reach Sergi prefecture area in 40 minutes, and the prefecture area is basically where the school campus is.
Right.
And the best thing about the Sergi prefecture area is that it's not isolated. It has a lot of things. It has malls, it has pubs and restaurants around the school, it has a lot of open spaces. ESSEC has a beautiful park just around the campus. So a lot of times after classes, if I have some free time, I've just gone to the park, just sat there for a while. So it's a beautiful thing, and we do have extra things as well. There's a nice sport area near Sergi, so with pubs and restaurants, so you can just hang out with friends in the evening. So it's overall a great area. And the place that I live, the residence, CLH residence, it's also just a 10-minute train ride, 2 stations more from the prefecture area. So it's also not that far. And even this residence, it's the last station basically at RERA, but it does have a lot of things. We have a pond area, we have shops around. So it's beautiful. Sergi is beautiful. That's all I can say.
Man, the way you describe it sounds amazing and completely different from the HEC campus. Because it just feels like, so to give some context, HEC in comparison, it's in a little village. There aren't that many restaurants, not that many bars. I don't think there's any bars around. There's like 2 student bars on the campus, but other than that, there's a huge lake and there's a lot of nature, but other than that, there's not much. But the way you describe ESSEC, it sounds like it's a very lively area. So that's super cool. But do you feel like, do you get this feeling that you're living on a campus, or do you feel more like you're living in a town and you're like kind of separated from other students? Do you have that community campus feeling at ESSEC as a result?
The thing is, with the situation that is going on, I've not been able to experience the whole community thing to its best thing. But yeah, in the residence, I guess the social life is still pretty good. In my residence, we have around 500 occupants over here, 500 students. So it's pretty good. We have sports facilities. We have a tennis court. We have basically there's always a cricket scene here on Sundays. So it's pretty good.
Right.
We have like a piano in the campus, in the residence. So the residence wise, everything is very good. The school social life is also very great, but because of the situation, as you can understand as well, so it's not been that great so far.
Of course.
But yeah.
But what I'm trying to understand also is that, so the residence that you say you're living in, is that only for ESSEC students? Like, is that run by ESSEC, or is it like a third party?
Yeah, it's run by ESSEC, so we have students from ESSEC, but yeah, from every degree. We don't just have people from MIM, so we have exchange students, even exchange students. Just right now, a couple of weeks back, a lot of exchange students arrived at the residence, so we've been meeting a whole bunch of new people here.
Right, that sounds awesome, man. Yeah, that sounds really, really good. So I guess like, maybe it's not like a campus situation, but it's like the residence is very tight-knit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like at HEC in comparison, we don't have one huge residence. We have like the campus, and we have like many little residence buildings all scattered around the campus, but it's like a gated campus. So, we can like, it is like one residence, but just think of it as like different blocks of an apartment complex, so that's how it is at HEC.
Even we have 3 residences, and they are like scattered. One is really close to the school, and the 2 are a little far away, but yeah. Here we have a lot of students, so it kind of feels like everybody's here. And even in the weekends, we have our friends over from those like residences here, and so it's a pretty lit scene during the weekends.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. All right, let's talk a bit about career and the career opportunities that, of course, you're just in your first year, so you don't have that much experience with this. But when you look at the alumni, when you look at your seniors, right? How do you see that panning out for them? Which industries or roles do most people end up going for? Or is there like one clear preference, or is it pretty equally divided? Like, how does it look like for you?
So the thing is, as far as I've seen, there's not one particular industry or a role that I've seen many seniors go into. I have seen people go into marketing, into finance, into consulting, into strategy. So that's a very positive sign. Like ESSEC students are able to reach good positions in every single industry. So that's a very positive reassurance on my side as well, that I will be better off in the coming years if I am able to put in that hard work. And with the alumni, I haven't had many experiences so far, but yeah, from the experience that I've had, they have been very positive. Like I've contacted a few of them on LinkedIn, and they have been very prompt in their replies. And I've known friends who have approached seniors, who have approached alumni, and one of my close friends, he approached one of our alumni who had his own startup. So he was able to get an internship from January itself in a marketing role. So yeah, so alumni have been very supportive, and the whole career thing, I can say, is that we do have career events every now and then at ESSEC. Right now it's been online for, I guess it's online for you as well, but yeah, we've been having that every now and then. We have the whole career days as well, like during our start of the first trimester, just around 2 weeks into the semester, we had a whole finance day from morning 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. in the evening. Consulting day was just after that, and now in the second trimester as well, we have had that. So yeah, it's been good. We have been able to interact with people, interact with companies, have one-on-one sessions with them, and with the alumni as well, on LinkedIn, on other portals. So yeah, it's been a very positive experience so far.
Oh, that sounds super awesome. It looks like it's Yeah, to be honest though, like I feel like it's not that much different from HEC, you know. It's like one and the same essentially. Because like both of them are like top schools in France, so I don't think there's like that much of a there should be that much of a difference between the two on this front, you know. So that's really really cool to know. What other kind of career events do you generally have at ESSEC, like aside from the career days that you mentioned?
So we do have company presentations every now and then. Just a while ago, I think we had a company presentation from a consulting firm, and they were available for like 2-3 hours. We could book our sessions, and we could send our resumes, and they people were able to get one-on-one sessions with them. And we have that with different companies like marketing companies, fintech companies, startups from different regions, like startups by ESSEC people as well. So we have company presentations every now and then. 2 weeks back, I even remember a company presentation from L'Oreal. It was there. So yeah, we do have company presentations every now and then, and it's a very good way to interact with the company officials and get on one-on-one sessions with them. So yeah, we've been having that. So.
All right, yeah, that sounds really cool. I think it's great that, even during this time, when doing in-person events is hard, I feel like a lot of companies and schools are really catching up with, having these things done online. And I know that at least in my experience at HEC, of course, like it was nice in my first year when we had like these company events happening in person. They usually used to have a cocktail with like free cocktails and starters, and, it was like a nice networking event kind of a situation. Of course, that's not happening anymore. But I mean, the fact that they're still able to do these online, where you're able to book one-on-one sessions with recruiters and stuff, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing the same thing from our seniors as well, that we used to have all of these offline and they were pretty good. It's just that right now we are working with whatever we have got, so it's still, the experience has been very good, and not just with these events but with the classes as well. Like one of my professors from last semester, I can't even put into words how much effort he used to put in his classes. Like he had a whole green screen setup. Like, being video editors ourselves, when I saw his setup, I was amazed. He had a proper mic. He had a proper mic, a condenser mic, just like yourself. He had a proper green setup, and he used to do all of these, spooky transitions and everything. So it has been a very good experience. I'll definitely send you a photo. I have a photo of his setup, so I'll send you that. And that was a great course also, by the way.
Yo, that sounds awesome, dude. But yeah, that's a really good segue into this topic that I wanted to briefly talk to you about as well. Like, how has your online class situation been like at ESSEC? So are all your classes online? Are they hybrid? Like, what's going on?
Right now, it's in a hybrid situation. The campuses has opened. So basically, it's in an odd even thing. So whoever has a odd roll number, BID, basically can go on the odd weeks and on the even weeks. But for some of our classes, we have the capacity to accommodate every single person. So one of my classes, personality theory, the classes. So we have a huge class, and there are just 25 or 30 of us, and we can accommodate everyone. So every single week, everybody can go. But if you're feeling you've kind of weak, you can stay online as well. So the hybrid system is going on right now. When I started back in August and September, we were able to go to the campus for a month or so, and then since the lockdown and everything, it shifted to online. But yeah, since campuses have resumed its premises, so we can go right now.
Right, but like the online classes, so like the online portion of these classes, it happens on Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, they happen on Zoom, and like I said, it's been very interactive. Like, our professors make the class so interactive that we ourselves switch on our cameras for the entire duration of the class. It's like with the online thing, it's very easy. Like, if suppose in a class we have 40-50 students, the professor is not going to check if everybody is switching on their cameras. So it's very easy to just stop your video, do something other than that. Maybe just lie on your bed and just listen to the class. But for some of my classes, I think majority of my classes, I keep my camera on for the entire duration because it's so interactive, and the whole experience has been very good so far.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's really really cool to hear. I feel like yeah, you're having a really great experience at ESSEC. It's a very different experience from HEC, but it sounds like an equally great experience, to be honest. Like, it's so cool, that HEC, ESSEC, they're so completely different from one another, but they're still the same MIM Grand École program.
Yeah.
So before we wrap this video up, is there anything that you'd like to tell my audience about yourself, or any other thoughts that you have?
yeah, first of all, as I'm here, I'm going to promote a bit about my channel.
Yeah, go for
since
it.
you already have viewers who want to study in France, and I'm making videos about studying in France. So yeah, guys, do check out my channel. I've been posting consistently, I guess, and my content I think is valuable. Mayank, what would you say?
Dude, yeah,
Is it valuable?
absolutely. I would highly recommend you guys to go check out Arif's channel as well.
I even remember right now that back in 2014 I visited you in Manipal. You've been at this whole thing for such a long time, and you are producing one of the highest quality contents that I've come across around education in general, about MIM, about studying in France. So yeah, you've done a great job, and it feels like I feel proud to see you grow so much in such a short time, and just thank you for this content, man.
Man, thanks a lot for the kind words. It really means a lot. And guys, yeah, definitely go check out Arif's channel as well. It's super cool. And go show him some support. Alright, yeah, also by the way, we also made a video on Arif's channel with me in it, where I talk about my journey from, coming to France 2 years back to now, and how I've grown during this time. So yeah, you should go check out his channel to go watch that video as well. Alright, thanks a lot, dude. Thanks a lot for getting on my channel and having this conversation with me. I think it was super valuable, and yeah.